There was a few opponents tossed around for you over the last few months. First it was Ryan Garcia, then it was Teofimo Lopez. Now here we are, you set to face.
Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. are set for an exciting showdown this Saturday, November 22nd in Riyadh. Brian Norman Jr. has been training hard in Atlanta, working through tough workouts and heavy bag sessions. His training shows his power and aggressive style in the ring.
22nd, I think a masterpiece to be paid. I think it's the best fight of the card. It being a great card, I think that's the best matchup. Two undefeated world champions.
Devin Haney is training with laser focus in Las Vegas. He is perfecting his timing, footwork, and defense as he prepares for his first fight at welterweight. As tension builds, analysts and fans alike are divided on who will emerge victorious in this welterweight war. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, was asked about the fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. He said it will be a very exciting match. Brian Norman is a strong puncher and a clever fighter, but Devin Haney has faced tougher opponents before, so he has more experience. David thinks moving up to 147 pounds will make Haney stronger and faster.
David Benavidez, I'll get you out here real quick, David. Just got a few predictions from you, man, because I know you're a student of the game, and there's even for a slow time of the year, there's a lot going on, especially with you. You got a big undercard, man. You got Bam Rodriguez on there, but the fight that's most intriguing to people was a fight no one saw coming, and I'm calling it maybe the super fight that no one saw coming. Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
That's going to be a great fight. That's a great matchup. You got the reigning defending champion. He doesn't want to let Devin Haney go in there and take the championship from him, so he has that on his side. He's a strong puncher. He's a slick fighter too, Brian Norman. But I just think Devin Haney, he's fought better opposition. I think him going up to 147 is going to help him. I think he's going to be stronger. I think he's going to be faster. And, I ultimately got Devin Haney winning, but it's still a dangerous fight until it ends. Brian Norman has a lot of power in his hands.
David predicts that Devin Haney will win the fight, but he also says it will be dangerous until the end. Norman Jr. has a lot of power in his hands, so Haney cannot take him lightly. The fight will be close and exciting for the fans. David believes Haney's speed and experience will give him the edge. He is confident Haney will come out as the winner.
But, also, the fight with Bam Bam Rodriguez and Pantera, I think Bam Bam Rodriguez, I think he wins that fight. Bam Bam Rodriguez, he's a pound-for-pound fighter, so I think he definitely goes in there, he does his thing. And also, I think Abdullah Mason goes in there, and I think he's going to get a great victory, too. He's a great prospect coming up. I've enjoyed watching his fights in the as he's coming up.
Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts on the WBO welterweight fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. He called it a very interesting matchup, saying the fight could go two ways. Either Haney wins clearly or Norman scores a knockout. Hearn noted that Haney and his father, Bill, are careful about taking punches, which could be risky against a heavy hitter like Norman Still. He believes moving up to welterweight will suit Haney physically.
I think Devin's either going to win really easily or he's going to get knocked out. The thing is Devin and Bill particularly are concerned about getting hit, right? Which is a really bad situation when you're fighting, especially when you're fighting someone who's quite a sharp puncher. I think Devin up at 47 is going to suit him physically actually really well. When we talk about boots at 47 going up to 60, that was the same. When Devin was at 35, it was just, then he's at 40. I think at 47, physically, he's going to feel really good. How good's Brian Norman?
Hearn also said Haney's camp seems concerned about his ability to take hard shots, which makes this matchup especially dangerous. He expects Haney to use his footwork, boxing skills, and discipline rather than trading power punches. Hearn added that Haney needed a fight like his bout against Jose Ramirez to regain confidence after the knockout loss to Ryan Garcia. While Norman is aggressive and strong, Hearn thinks Haney's intelligence, skill, and strategy in the ring will help him earn a points victory.
Concerned about your punch resistance. I think it's a dangerous game. So Devin will get on his bike against Brian Norman and he will try and outbox him. I don't think he'll run like he did against Ramirez, because I think that he needed that fight. He was rough against Ryan Garcia. Do you know what I mean? He needed to overcome the demons But you know that when Ramirez stepped in and let his hands go, you could see Devin, and you knew, and you know what everyone's thinking. Fuck. Ryan's hopefully a little bit more balls to the floor than Ramirez, who just kind of went through the motions a little bit, tried to win, but but how good's Brian Norman? I mean, because Devin's good.
I think Devin beats him.
Yeah, probably.
Brian Norman Jr. is very excited for his fight against Devin Haney. He says it is finally time to show his skills in the ring. He does not care about the talking or the build-up. He only wants action. Brian wants to fight and prove himself to the fans. He believes the real fans will see his true skills on Saturday night.
Devin Haney, it's finally here, Brian. How excited are you for Saturday night?
I'm very, very, very excited. It's finally that time. Like, of course, we've seen all the theatrics, we've seen all the talking, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about that action, boss, and now we here. Just a few more days, and I'm going to show y'all something.
That's one thing that's always been evident to me, Brian. Whenever we've spoken, you just want to fight. You want to show your skills in the ring. You don't give a damn about the talking. You don't care about what people think. But certainly, in the build-up, we've seen a lot of promo, and you've gained a lot of fans and a lot of credit for some of your quips back to Devin in the build-up. What have you made of the reaction? Obviously, the support people have started to give for you now.
I mean, I love it. Like, I'm just going out there being myself, and I just so have to be good at it. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm loving it, and I appreciate all of it, but all of that's cool. But this is where the real fans come in at.
Brian is confident he will win and put Devin Haney in the dirt. He says there is no doubt in his mind about the victory. A win against Haney will make him very famous and open big opportunities. Brian wants to bring realness and excitement to boxing. He is ready to show everyone his power and talent in the fight.
How big of a profile booster will a victory against Devin Haney, and especially as you mentioned that you want to put him in the dirt, you want that vicious knockout. If you were to deliver that against Devin Haney, profile-wise, where does Brian Norman Jr. go?
There is no such thing as if. I am going to do that. But he's saying, like, what does this put me after this? I mean, the world is mine. It's as simple as that. And now it's time to go and push what I want to push. I want to push realness in the game.
Brian Norman Jr.'s sparring partner LaManna shared his honest thoughts about the fight against Devin Haney. He said that after watching Brian's workouts, he thinks Norman has a better chance than before. LaManna explained that Norman is very serious and focused in the gym. He does not care about the promotions or what people say about him. He just wants to win. LaManna even said he is leaning more toward Brian Norman Jr. because of his power and speed.
Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney. I know it's something that we've talked about for like the last 3 months, but it like kind of like crept up, like it seemed like it was closer. Kind of forgot about it, now it crept up on us, and now you've seen the workout videos and the trash talk. Do you look at this fight any different than you looked at it before? Now looking at Dev, looking at Brian workout.
I give Brian more of a chance. Brian, he's all business. When, you know, I'm sure it's part of his contract where you gotta like do like the whole promoting shit. And they're asking him about, you know, the whole, what's his name, dress attire, Devin's younger. And he's like, bro, I don't give a f about that dress attire, man. I'm gonna beat the shit out of whatever he said. I don't know, bro. Like, I'll probably lean more towards Brian Norman now.
Showbiz the Adult expressed uncertainty about Devin Haney stepping into this matchup. He questioned whether Haney could maintain the same sharpness and dominance he once showed at the lighter weights. According to him, moving up in weight could take away some of the traits that made Haney so exceptional: his speed, timing, and precision. Still, he acknowledged that Brian Norman Jr. remains unpredictable, with the potential to show up on fight night in peak form and shock everyone. In Showbiz's view, the outcome will ultimately depend on which fighter enters the ring looking stronger, sharper, and better prepared to adapt under pressure.
I'm not sure if Devin is as good as I think he is. That's a scary thing, because Brian is either not as good as his hype is right now, or he's better than what we think he is. I don't know. And I'm the first one to tell you guys how much I don't damn know. But what we do in the war room is do critical thinking. A lot of people call that flip-flopping. They only want you to have one mind. But that's not what I do. I'm trying to think of all things.
Khalil Coe, a rising boxing star and analyst, shared his thoughts on the fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. He believes Devin Haney has the advantage because of his better boxing skills, discipline, and smart strategy. Brian Norman Jr. is very strong, but Coe thinks he is too one-sided to beat a complete fighter like Haney. Even though Norman recently won by knockout, Coe says that will be much harder against Haney, who is quick, careful, and hard to hit. He also noted that Haney's conditioning, movement, and focus have improved a lot, making him very tough in the ring.
And Brian Norman's coming off a crazy knockout. You know what I mean? They said something about the guy losing his memory after that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Packed him up.
That's crazy. But I don't see that happening in the Devin Haney fight. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to catch Devin Haney now. I don't think nobody's gonna be able to. That hook that Ryan hit him with, that's not happening again. You seen his last fight? He was in tremendous shape. The whole fight, all 12, boxing, moving when he wanted to. And Brian Norman he's in my opinion, he's one-dimensional. You know what I mean? I don't see him being able to cut Devin off and doing anything with him. I see him get outboxed. Decision.
Coe explained that Norman's main weakness is his poor footwork and difficulty controlling the ring. This will make it hard for him to corner Haney or land big punches. He praised Haney's growth, especially after learning from his knockout loss to Ryan Garcia. Coe added that Haney does not need to rely on power to earn respect. His intelligence, calmness, and experience will guide him to a clear, well-deserved decision win over Brian Norman Jr.
If he was more, his footwork is not up to par enough to catch Devin. You know what I mean? Devin's a hell of a boxer, before the Ryan knockout. So now he's just more conscious of what can happen. So he's not gonna be able to do anything with them.
In an interview with Mike Carbinger, Devin Haney was asked why he chose to fight Brian Norman Jr. in his first welterweight match. Haney said he always wants to challenge himself against the best fighters. He believes Norman is the top fighter at 147 pounds, so this is the perfect test for his debut in the new division. Haney explained that he did not want an easy fight. Instead, he wants to prove his greatness by taking on a strong and dangerous opponent right away.
First off, I want to ask you, why was this the right time to make this fight? Two of the young best fighters in the world. I'll start with you, the challenger, Devin Haney.
I mean, that's just the type of fighter that I am. I've been like that, my whole career. I want to fight the best fighters in the world. And right now, I think that he's the best guy at 147. This will be my first fight there. So what better guy to fight than Brian Norman?
When asked why he chose to fight Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. gave a confident and respectful answer. He said he knows Haney is one of the best defensive fighters in boxing and has achieved a lot, but that is what motivates him the most. Norman explained that he wants to face the toughest challenges and prove himself as a champion. In his words, Haney says he is the best, Norman says he is too, and the only way to find out is in the ring.
Devin Haney is a pound-for-pound guy. He's one of the best defensive fighters in boxing, and he's established a lot more experience than you. Why take on this fight now?
I mean, every reason that you just said, every credit you just gave him, all these amazing things that he has done in his past. Why wouldn't I want to fight a fighter like himself? It's just the competitive nature that's in me. It's the reason I am a champion. It's what I go for. He said he's the best. I say I'm the best. Cool. Let's go out and see who truly is that one.
Boxing legend Tim Bradley shared his thoughts on the fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. Calling it one of the most exciting welterweight matchups, he praised both fighters for being young, motivated, and willing to take on big challenges early in their careers. Bradley said Norman, at just 23 or 24 years old, is improving with every fight, while Haney is entering the best years of his career. He also mentioned Haney's move from 135 to 147 pounds as impressive, showing his ambition. However, Bradley questioned whether moving up in weight so soon was the right choice, since Norman Jr. is a dangerous puncher.
You know what? It's a damn good fight, man. It truly is. I tip my hat off to both these guys. Both these guys are young. Norman Jr., 23 or 24 years old, bro. Haney's right in the midst of his prime. Norman's not even in his prime yet, but, you can see the development And you can see the improvement of Norman's overall game, man, in his last 3 performances. Now that he's champion, man, and you have a guy that fought at 135, 140 pounds, now and that moving up and wanting to fight him, dude, that's impressive, man. Devin Haney is one of those guys that's always chasing, the smoke. He always want to fight and test himself against the best fighters in the world.
Bradley also reflected on Haney's recent fights, especially his bout against Jose Ramirez. He said Haney looked too cautious and hesitant after being knocked out by Ryan Garcia. Haney moved a lot but did not attack enough, which could be risky against Norman Jr., who is still growing as a fighter. Bradley said the key question is whether Haney can avoid Norman's powerful punches for the whole fight. Norman's strength and progress could make this fight very challenging for Haney.
The last time Haney was in the ring with a big puncher, and that was with Ryan Garcia. I know he was in the ring, great, but I'm saying big puncher, somebody dangerous, was Ryan Garcia, right? And that performance with Ramirez, he won the fight, but it wasn't that impressive, right? He got a lot of criticism, especially from me, the way he fought. I felt that he fought scared. He didn't look the same. It looked like he had a lot of residue from the fight with Ryan Garcia. He didn't want to get touched at whatsoever. So, he moved around the ring a lot, but didn't do a whole lot of punching. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, man, because Norman Jr., I feel like we haven't seen the best version of him yet. I feel that he continues to improve.
Regis Prograis spoke about Devin Haney with confidence, saying he knows how talented Haney really is. Having shared the ring with him, Prograis now understands Haney's full abilities. He said Haney is a smart and elite boxer, even if his style is not flashy. Haney always does what works best in the fight. His strong ring IQ, awareness, and ability to take every opportunity make him very hard to beat.
If I had to put money, I would bet money on Devin. I mean, I fought him and I know how good he is, and it's like he's a good boxer. We cannot take that away from him that he is a good boxer. He knows how not to get hit. No matter if he makes it boring. Now, we're not saying that, but same thing with Ramirez. He just, he moved around, he ran around. You could say run around. He ran around the ring for 12 rounds. Same thing with me. He had good feet, and he just know how to move out the way. So I think that's what he's gonna do. So
as fight night approaches, all eyes will be on Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. in what promises to be an intense welterweight battle. Both fighters are ready, and the analysts, sparring partners, and boxing legends have shared their thoughts. But the only opinion that matters will be decided inside the ring. Make sure you don't miss a moment of the action. Tune in this Saturday, November 22nd in Riyadh and watch these two elite fighters clash for the WBO welterweight title. Stay updated on the undercard, start time, and PPV details so you can catch every punch and every moment of this epic showdown.